Okay, multiplying using the algorithm. So algorithm just means the steps that you use to multiply fractions or rational numbers. Remember that rational numbers are just numbers that can be expressed as a fraction. So the first step is that you need to simplify the fractions in the problem if you can. This is going to make your operations much easier. So always make sure and verify if you can simplify the fractions just before you start doing anything. Then you're going to multiply numerators, and then you're going to multiply the denominators. Just be aware that we're talking about multiplication. Remember that with addition we said we have to find a common denominator and then we don't add the denominators. Here we're talking about multiplication of fractions, so we multiply the denominators and they don't have to be common. Okay, they don't have to be common denominators. Be aware of that. And the last step, as always, is simplify the fraction if possible using your highest common factor. So let's do first this example here that we have here. 1/3 times 5. So some of you might be asking, okay, 1/3 times 5, but 5 is not a fraction. Remember that all rational numbers, we can write it as a fraction. How do we do that? So we have 1/3 times 5, but 5 is the same as writing 5 over 1, okay? So now I have two fractions, and then it says, can I simplify something? No, I can't. 1/3 is simplified, 5 over 1 is simplified. Then I multiply the numerator, so 1 times 5 is 5, and 1 times 3 is 3. And then it says I have to simplify them, so or change them to this. I have a mixed number. I need to change. I have an improper fraction, so I have to change it into a mixed number. I'm not going to go into that process now. By now you should be able to do this. If not, make sure that you go back and revise. So this is going to be 1 2/3. Good, fantastic. So I've done my first example here. Now let's do my second example. Here is coming up. So my second example is 1/5 times 3/4. So again, first thing that I check, can I simplify anything? No, I have 1/5. I cannot simplify anything, and 3/4 I can't. So now I'm going to go 1 times 3. Now I want you to start getting used to writing this like this. 1 times 3 divided all 5 times 4. This is going to become very useful later on and in next year, in year 8, 9, and 10, when you start doing algebra with fractions. So it's a good idea to start writing it like that. And basically what I'm saying, okay, my answer is going to be 1 times 3, which is 3 over 20. Can I simplify this any further? No, I can't. Good. Let's do our last example here, which is 5 over 20 times 24 over 64. So if you start right away and you ignore my first step that I wrote above, that is said simplify your fractions, you are going to be dealing with very big numbers here. So first thing that you need to check, can I simplify my fractions? Yes, I can. How can I do that? If I divide this one by 5 and this one by 5, then this one is going to become, I'm going to write it here, 1 over 4 or a quarter. Fantastic. And then let's focus on my second one, 24 divided by 64. Can I divide it? Yes, I can. I can divide it by 8 and by 8. And 24 divided by 8 is going to be 3 over 8. Okay, now I have much easier numbers to deal with. Remember what I said, I want you to write 1 times 3 over 4 times 8, which is equal to 3 over 32. And I cannot simplify any further, so I have finished there. Good, we have one more video to go with multiplying fractions, so I see you in the next video.